starting off with the brows, we're going to use the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Shape and Fill. So the other version of this pencil is my favorite, so I really wanted to try this one. I will say this works. I love the formula of these, but I don't like how the tip of it is so fat. I just don't feel that it's easy to maneuver. It definitely works, and maybe works for like on the go rushing type of situation, but for defining and being precise, I would just use the other. And to prime the skin, I'm using the CoverGirl Outlast All Day Primer. We need a base to make sure the foundation sticks. And then I'm going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. So this foundation, it wasn't terrible. I used a very little just because I have a texture to my skin right now, but it does give you a more dewy finish. I would say the coverage is low to medium, and it didn't feel heavy on my face. I did have to use the Infallible Pro Glow Concealer in Cocoa just to darken the shade. So I was sent over some L'Oreal, the Pro Glow line, and the shades that they sent were too dark. So I just, I tried to make it work by using this concealer, which didn't work that well, to be honest, but, I was able to bronze my face. I'm still iffy on this foundation. I feel like there are better dewy foundations. It's just, I don't know. It did work, as you see. It made my skin look nice. And to conceal my under eyes, I also used the Pro Glow Concealer, and I used the shade Beige, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Natural Beige. And then I just blended it out with a dampened brush. And this worked okay. It isn't full coverage as well, but it did blend in nicely. My under eyes didn't look really creasy. Yeah, it didn't blow me away though. And then just set it, of course. And to bronze my face, I used the Infallible Pro Glow powders. And these are supposed to be long wearing as well, but I just used the face powder in the shade. What shade is this? It doesn't say, of course, but it's the darkest shade in the line. At number 28 Cocoa, and just bronzed my face with it. These powders have a shimmer side and then a more matte side, so the idea is when you swirl them together, it gives you this glow. It applied nicely on my face. It's just I don't really like to put a glitter to set my face. So as a bronzer, it worked out, but I'm curious how you guys feel about it as a setting powder. I will say that for me, as an over my entire face setting powder, the glitter was just a little too chunky. Now for the eyes, I went in with these L'Oreal matte shadows, and I was so impressed with them. The first shade I took was 302, and I just used this as a transition, and these were so easy to use. They weren't patchy or anything like that. It did have fallout, but I'm used to fallout in shadows. This next shade that I use is 304, and these are all matte, but there's like the littlest bit of sheen to them, but you can't really tell. I worked that into the crease just to act as another transition. We're just building up the colors so they flow together better, and then I blend the two out. But yeah, I thought these shadows worked great for a drugstore product. And then put that same color on the lower lash line. Now for the pop of color, I used the L'Oreal Infallible Paints Metallics. I was impressed with these as well. They applied so nicely to my lid. There was not much fallout, and yeah, I really liked this shade. And then I took another matte color, 306, and I just put that in the outer V. This was an interesting color. It was like a burgundy brown, and as you can see, it's got good pigment to it. It's very easy to blend. It wasn't choppy. And the pans of these are really big. And then to set my brow bone, I used the shade 300 just to make sure that it was all even and blended. And for the liquid liner, I wanted to use a brown just so it wasn't as harsh. And I used the L'Oreal, the Super Slim liquid eyeliner, and it's just called brown. And then 614 lashes, of course. Go back in with those same colors and deepen everything. I'm using the same shades that I used on my lids, and just highlight those inner corners. And then for my cheeks, I use this MILANI blush. I feel like MILANI has amazing drugstore highlighters and blushes. I went too hard. That's why I made that face. This is the Color Harmony in Bronze Burst number 2, and I wanted a more warm color. And then Wet n Wild just sent this over, and I really wanted to try it. This is the Mega Glow Highlighting Palette in Illuminatrix could be saying that wrong. And it worked out pretty well. You know, I love Wet n Wild for their affordable beauty, and they have some amazing highlighters. Yeah, I mixed top shade and the bottom shade together to get this glow, and then of course blend them all out together. All right, and to prep our lips, I am lining them with the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner, and the shade is 160 Rich Wine. Once you have them lined, I'm going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick, and this is in the shade Roseblood. This shade, you guys, was so amazing, but the formula of these are really thick. You feel like you have product on your mouth, if you know what I mean. And that's the only thing that bothered me about this lippy, is just keep in mind, it's gonna feel like you have product on your mouth. It also doesn't dry down, so it transfers, meaning it's not kiss proof. And now moving on into the eyes, I just wanted to highlight the inner corners just a little bit. So what we put on our cheekbones, I just dabbed on into our inner corners. And yeah, that's the complete look, you guys. This is 100% drugstore. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up for more affordable looks. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Breaking up, making up.